How was your Wednesday?
Scott, thank you for the intro. Wednesday's going great. Brad, how's your audio?
You're coming through loud and clear. How about myself?
Also loud and clear. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Q&A webinar today with myself and Brad. It is going to be a fun ride, maybe blow your minds a little bit, but thematically there's going to be a lot of repeat from last week, and it's very important because arguably we're going to discuss how last week was one of the most important Q&As you've ever gotten if you were really paying attention. So let's jump right into it, and we're going to have a lot of fun today. Obviously, everything I tell you should be construed as just educational and informational purposes only. Never, ever, ever do I give any kind of formal investing advice. That's not what Trade Ideas is about. It's a technology platform. So please know that if you're looking for official stock advice, you need to talk to a registered investment advisor, which we are not. Okay, that said, let's have fun. Time travel is fun. So this was a snapshot that I took for you guys last week when we were starting this Q&A. And this is the snapshot. AMC was tearing from just under or just above $10 to 18. Gamestop was also up 31 points, just on a tear. And I told you guys something very important, and the reason I'm repeating it is because this should be the reason you're in the stock market. Number one, you need to understand where the information that you're getting is coming from. Like, are these people that you're talking to, in this case, it's me, does he sound like he knows what he's talking about or not? You've got to make some judgments there. And I'm using the Q&A as an example to think about what I told you last week. So last week we talked about how GameStop and AMC are such unique things that they could be considered to some extent once in a lifetime situations because of the naked shorting. I'm not going to get into all of that today at all, but you guys know what it is. And what we're talking about is that this reported short float number has been discovered to be, let's just call it underreported, okay? And as a result, there is a gamma squeeze, which involves options, but also in general, there's some very big players who are stuck in these horrible positions short this stock. Okay, and it could be into the billions of shares. That's what we said, both AMC and GameStop, and that's the only reason that they're going up, which means that this is not a fundamental play. We discussed that last week, saying that stop trying to explain to yourself, like, oh my God, GameStop's horrible. It's a gaming company. They don't have any earnings, or AMC's just theaters and theaters are closed. They don't have any earnings. This is irrelevant. We spoke about this, and it's irrelevant because we're talking about a once in a lifetime situation where you're being afforded the ability to be in a trade that could be a once in a lifetime situation. I've talked about this last week, because when you are in this type of a short squeeze, the price could be infinity, mathematically speaking. This is why this is important. So remember, this was last week, and I told you guys that there's really only one thing for you to do. It ain't gonna happen by itself, okay? This is the essence of the stock market, but with whether you're looking at it from our software, whether you're looking at it with a abacus and a smoke signal and tea leaves, it doesn't really matter. Okay, but I'm distilling the stock market into the fundamental aspect of what it is, and this is what it is. Number one, nothing's going to happen unless you do it yourself, which is why the industry has taught you to never do it yourself and why you give all of your money away to money managers in your 401k. This is part of the picture, but I want you to see that in reality, as per the slide last week, timing is everything. You could say to yourself, well, man, at 240, GameStop's really expensive. Or at 18 after running from, I mean, Brad, we're about from 10 to so 80% higher. Like, man, at AMC, it's too expensive.
All relative, right?
That's right. But timing is everything. Okay, you, ladies and gentlemen, must have a decision in your mind that you're going to get involved. If you're not getting involved, you're not going to be able to enjoy the show. That's your message from the super handsome CEO.
I recognize that guy.
Do you see those eyes? These are the eyes that told you last week about what you will have seen this week, that you're in this incredible situation, that things are happening that we've never seen before. And it goes way beyond just like technical analysis or fundamental analysis or platforms for that matter, which is why it's important for us as leaders in this space to communicate to you that that handsome local man, Brad, could be invincible. I'm reiterating to you that we lead by example. Everything you see me talk about, I'm in it. Okay, so I'm not just telling you about this stuff, I'm actually doing. By the way, so is Brad, so are many other team members that trade ideas. This is how we stay relevant and current. We're not VC funded, we're the same guys that did this business in 1998. We never stopped, we just got better and better and better. Okay. Guys, it's so much bigger than you can ever imagine. Okay. These people, Mudrick Capital, were the ones that did the AMC $8.3 million share financing deal that AMC is doing for, again, company reasons, but irrelevant to why it's spiking up. However, these guys sold it right after they did it. If I told you about what I told you and I knew about it, how could they not know about it? So the only thing I can tell you, you have to really be careful where you get your information. In my opinion, it's never from CNBC or Bloomberg or anything else. You got to get it from yourself. Okay? These people are stupid. So after 18 happened, Brad, and I don't think you saw this slide, but we always talk about how numbers sometimes talk to you. And I know this sounds a little bit esoteric or metaphysical, but they do. And me and the guys, we like to catch cool numbers. So on the way to where AMC is right now, I called this beautiful window. And again, notice how I said before, 21%, 21.10%. So somebody's telling you that AMC, the two of the biggest meme stocks, and Gamestop have the same short float. And this is what the gamma squeeze looks like, guys. Notice the put volume at the bottom is 44,000, while the call volume is almost 3x. That means people are going to be forced to buy to hedge their risks. Okay. So here we are now. Days without winning is 0. Okay, look at this move. AMC went from 18 to 34 to 67 on the close. Look at this volume, almost 1 billion shares. Okay. Look at the difference between the call and the put volume. It's the same thing. Calls here are almost 3x the puts. That means that there's immense buy pressure that's continuing because some idiots are still short possibly 1 billion shares. You guys, what is happening? This is, I repeat, not that it's going to happen, but I just want you guys to be aware of the levels here, in the fact that you are witnessing potentially a once in a lifetime phenomenon that I think possibly once it happens will never happen again. But notice the arrows are to the similarities. 2 different stocks, completely different genres, one same concept, lots of cheating, 21%, 21.1%. Look at the put and the call volume. It's the same play being played by the people that know how to take advantage of this, okay? 3 times the calls. Basically 3 times the calls. Brad, do the numbers speak any more clearly as to what's going on?
Yeah, there's certain people that are feeling some tremendous pain right now. Like you said, the people that are short. It's in order for them to get out, it's just going to have to exponentially continue upwards in a parabolic move like it is. So it's
right. And remember, guys, this is being discussed to you because you can go back to the Q&A of last week. You can watch it again. You can remember that we don't just simply care about the subscription, although we love you and we love that you guys subscribe to Trade Ideas. And I've said many times that you guys are our venture capital arm. Without you, we couldn't do what we're doing. But to provide a proper service to you, can't just all be about the subs. In this case, it's about this once in a lifetime thing that's happening that, number one, almost everybody that you meet at Trade Ideas is taking advantage of it in some way. We're letting our technology catch it. And it's just such a beautiful thing to witness in real time. I mean, forget what you ever thought about Amazon or Google or Berkshire Hathaway for that matter. You're going to see something here that you're going to tell your grandchildren about, and then they will tell their grandchildren about it. So that's why it's so important for us to communicate what we're communicating today. Keep these, watch them still. You know, if you're long at 286, and I'm not saying to do that, I'm saying, but if you are, and then at some point the price is 10,000, well, that 286 seems like zero. Brad, that's the hard part for people to understand.
It is, but you know, inherently when you get in after these types of parabolic moves, there's more risk involved. There's no question about that.
Could be a 100-point down day easily, but we know what's going to be happening longer term. Okay, so that's why we're showing you, and again reiterating, this is where your attention needs to be. Okay, as you know, we believe that we are your premier destination for the timing. As we said, timing is everything in the stock market. We're a technology that helps you time things. It's just like perfect timing when you met your wife or whatever it is that gave you great things. Timing in the stock market is everything, and we are your captains of the DeLorean time machine, Brad. 88 miles an hour is how fast we take you, and we try to take you into the future. Back to the future, just a little bit, you know, not like 10 years, Brad, because who the hell knows, but maybe like a day or two, maybe
That's
a
all you
week.
need is one day, right?
That's all you need. So again, we're just delighted to do what we do, made in the USA by a whole team of US developers, and we're going to be 5 years in a row, I think, 5,000. So let me minimize this. I think that was it for the beginning. Yes. Okay, and I'm going to talk a little bit about a couple of things. So first of all, just want you guys to see this. So I'm using the docking window functionality on another monitor, and I brought this in. And I brought this in so you guys can see that I have a list here called my 401k, which I manage completely by myself by buying all of these stocks. I'm not a big institution, so if you want to know what I am in, these are the names. And notice on a day like today, when the market wasn't doing anything, how so many of the things that I'm in are outperforming. It's like we've kind of found this niche group of combination meme and other type of stocks that's really doing well. So if anyone is interested, of course, you know, keep an eye on this list, write some names down. These are good things for you to watch. I am in all of these, vested. Jason, in terms of how long term is AMC, I mean, a year, 2 years? But the point is that we're looking for something once in a lifetime that no one's ever seen before. So it's going to be, you know, at least a little bit tricky, but you're talking about prices that have nothing to do with what the perceived valuation concept of things are. It's even beyond cryptocurrency. As I said before, the things you have to consider is that AMC and Gamestop are going to be known as the stocks that uncovered all the fraud in the stock market. And what is the value of fixing, whatever is the valuation of the stock market, think about it, how good it would be if there was actually no fraud in it. Brad, could you imagine?
I can't imagine.
Nobody can imagine. So everything is still in play. Expect immense volatility, but this is what I'm trying to get you to think. I mean, a lot of you will contemplate that, oh man, I missed it. And I get it. And I'm not saying that you didn't miss it, because certainly it went from, well, from 500 to 40 and from 354 to 129. But here we are going back here. It could go into the tens of thousands. That's the reason of why I am in it. That's what you need to know, okay? So with that, what we're gonna do real quick, and by the way, there's still some other amazing plays. Like, notice we're in these plays, me and the team. These gigantic mean reversion where there's something happened and it's kind of consolidating, but we still sort of believe in the original thesis. So Kodak doing some amazing stuff. And also the short floats are all kind of the same, okay? Another 20%er. Brad, do you notice that they're all so close that the coincidence of this is just impossible? You know something weird is up.
Well, what's super interesting is that so many stocks that had a high short float percentage, like over 15 or 17%, there were so many of those guys that were running today and really extraordinary percentage gains.
Absolutely. So there's this, so this is the beauty, is that there is these moves, and I wanted to share something else that we all discussed in the last Q&A, or maybe it was the last one, Brad? That was after the test drive. Okay, so I talked about how I think that the Q&As before, we said we were launching a product that we don't exactly know what it's going to be called or its price, right, Brad? 5.5, kind of like the version.
Trade Ideas 1.
Trade Ideas Hawan. We, you know, guys, we love to play around with the numbers. But the point is, what was it? It was email alerts that sent a message to your inbox, and that inbox message says, hey, this is a symbol and the shorts are in panic mode. Okay, and I talked about how, let me just, where did I put the date? Hold on, configure columns, entry time. So also I'm showing you how you can change stuff. ABC, entry price, entry time. Okay, so let me just show you here. I'm gonna move the, first of all, you can kind of see, you can grab anything, move it around. And these are different dates. You can sort it by, so 4, 9, 30, 5. So, and by the way, I was doing it kind of in the way, like not uber systematically, but sort of in the way that all of us would do it. Sometimes I catch the emails right away. Sometimes I don't, but I just in practice mode, and this is what I'm doing here, Trade Ideas and simulated trading. I'm testing the concept. Is this the kind of moves that I want to be in? And overwhelmingly, the answer is yes. I mean, I want to just show you a couple ones that I caught here. 1-800-Flowers. This was the, oh, this is a loser. Okay, here's where I kind of went lower. But by the way, on a move like today, I mean, I can potentially double down. This is another thing I talk about. You can catch things that you otherwise wouldn't have done. And the important thing with trading is you've got to be flexible all the time. Don't pigeonhole yourself into like, well, doubling down is bad, or this is good, or this is, trading is a free-flowing concept. Things move in and out of favor. And again, see this kind of base, why not, boom, buy another 1,000, and this is your swing exit. Remember, we talked about how the game plan is to give you a game plan in Trade Ideas. And this way, you're really watching and observing what you're doing and how it relates to the whole system and how it functions. So here's what you're about, this breakout right here. This is another example of trying to catch these one moves that are very big here, and then you want to come in and see if it'll go. So I'm testing and showing you what a company like ours does behind the wheel of their race cars as it's trying to figure out what's the best product to give you guys. And look at these numbers. You know, they're pretty compelling considering, Brad, this is an email-only product. You don't even need Trade Ideas to get it.
Yeah, well, it is utilizing the technology that you would have in a full service application. You just don't get the ability to configure it, but all that power is still right there.
And so, yeah, that's the critical component of what we're trying to communicate, is that with Trade Ideas, and especially your ability to do multiple things. So I have 2 simulated trading accounts, where this one is the one I started with, kind of my default account. And then I made one where I could show you how I progressed in from just the overall account to a very specific thing where I'm testing that short-term panic mode. Brad, maybe you could fish that cloud link out and give it to our good people?
Yeah, the short-term panic mode link.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me dig it up.
Okay, the other thing I wanted to do is just show you real quick. I'm going to move this. Just show something here. Okay, so you can tell you can have many columns and do lots of different things with them. So you can really see how your overall P&L is doing, where your weak points are, if you need to look at them. Let me move this away. Okay. But what I was trying to show is that we recreated the way you can work with Brokerage Plus. So instead of just a bunch of tabs, in the new version that's coming out, notice how it's part of that docking concept where I can take a window and I can put my orders down here, my messages down here. This has been modified so that you can see exactly how much money and what's going on as you're doing it. And of course, again, it automatically configures to the account that you have selected when you select the accounts. The system is getting better and smarter. We're making it easy for you, including, notice that you can do things here, like I can hide, I can go all the longs because it's all long. If there were any shorts, I could highlight it, but of course they're not here. I can reverse something. So, I can take, let's say you're looking at a loser potentially. Well, this is in here, this one.
Hard to find one of those in your portfolio, huh?
Oh, it's so strong. So you can also play the counter of my initial concept, which is if you think it's turning around all good, but let's just say you think this is what's called sometimes in trading terminology a dead cat bounce. It's like bing, 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 and from here it's actually going to be going lower, which again, it possibly could. The idea is that you can be prepared for both. So I can go here and I can say, okay, well, I took advantage of this up move a little bit. I'm still down $4,000, but I could reverse it. So instead of being long 2,000, I can short 2,000, or I could just say, well, let me cut half so that if it falls, I'm risking less. So this is how you get, and all these things are just done for you, the buttons. I think, Brad, we almost don't give it enough showcasing, is that hopefully you can tell that you're behind the wheel of an automobile that's built for this trading stuff. And it is very, very powerful. All the windows in this mode, you can just highlight them all. Quarter daily charts. See, again, you can just go and see exactly what's going on, what you're doing. If you're doing something, you can see the messages that are happening. So this was me having, so Holly today, it was a tough day. Let me just go real quick to the Holly, because in my situation, I was more on the risk.
Why don't you uncheck that hide zero positions up on your,
Yeah,
that way we can see what was going on there.
Yeah, so I basically stayed in aggressive mode is really what went on. There's some beautiful stuff.
Yeah,
right
today was definitely a conservative mode winner from the AI.
Absolutely.
Those are the decisions you have to make, when starting to automate something. How do you want to approach it?
Right, and again, as I go through it, my end of day routine is going through these trades like this and seeing what the software is doing, why it's doing that, do I like that? How does it relate to the overall other thesis? Like, for example, man, it's almost like, Brad, is someone's stuff stuck? Come on. Ridiculous. They're not even trying that hard. So this is the platform. This is the ultimate driving machine for you to be able to get in it. Going back to our presentation, going back to what I had said before about us saying, please look at AMC, please look at Gamestop. There's lots of amazing stuff that's going on here. Keep looking at Kodak. Just amazing things are at hand. And notice that you have this ability here, just like in all traders, you can sort by today's P&L or total P&L and see how everything is. Sometimes you can just get rid of your losers and let the winners run. That's kind of what this is, okay? And you can highlight everything and just say, okay, boom, file. These are the things you learn while you're in simulated trading. You learn the dexterity of being able to go and go. Right now, we wouldn't do anything. What is market's closed?
It shouldn't. I would say it shouldn't, but I don't think you can send a market order after hours. And I think the simulator's already been preventing that. So
right. But this is the amazing part. And again, if you remember what we talked about, which is giving you guys the strategy, short-term panic mode, and showing you that there's going to be a service built around that very soon. We just want you to know that just like with AMC and Gamestop, we really care about your winnings. For us, when you also win using our technology, there's no better advertisement. Because a lot of it is word of mouth. Whoa.
Yeah, look at the short float on that guy.
31%, Brad.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So many of these stocks today with a high short float percentage really got squeezed.
Yeah. And this is the beauty of us being on the right side of the trades, being able to work with you, because we're in this battle, not just for the subscriptions. It's kind of like a pursuit of excellence for us as well. We believe we understand what's happening. We believe we understand the data. And Brad, I want to talk to you a little bit about the fact that you see very little. Whoops, let me expand this. Oh, this is such a big move that it's almost impossible to. Okay, so remember we talked about how we give you this feedback in our trading software that lets you know, like, what would you do now? Like, how much would you be up or down if you risk the thing that you're comfortable risking, which you set over here, tools, options, AI trade size, and I have $7,700 that I'm risking per trade. So you've got this game plan. Again, you got it for right now, for intraday, and of course, you also, as we go down lower, you have it for swing. These are all statistics that are there to guide you. And we feel that you do better when you are mentally prepared for the mathematic implications of placing this trade. And we overemphasize the fact that if you're not practicing, like the way I'm showing you on the simulated trading, it's almost impossible then to get that hand-eye dexterity and emotional comfort of being up 24,000 and not panicking out of it. These are the important things for you to be able to discern for yourself, okay? For you to be able to see and know that anytime you see something, you instantly have data points where our software is telling you something. That's what we believe is the pursuit of excellence. That's what we believe is the driving force to not simply just be a successful company for money's sake, but to be excellent in the field. And there's a rabbit hole matrix, Brad, and you're gonna like this part of this. It's what I call the stock matrix. And do you know what the stock matrix is? Let me show you a little bit about it. It starts over here. Brad, you see this word?
The indicator maze.
That's right. Well, let me add some Bollinger Bands, okay? Brad, this is where this is going. Chart area, right?
Yeah, you want it in the main.
Close. Oh, man. Bollinger Bands, guys. I got more lines to watch. So this is part of the stock matrix, and you have to be very careful with it. It will give you anything and everything that you want to rabbit hole yourself into so as not to place a trade. There are infinite amount of indicators that none of them work because, again, they're not really indicating anything other than a squiggly line. And sometimes stocks go up when there's a squiggly line of one kind, and then sometimes they go down when there's another squiggly kind of one kind. We figured that out long ago, and we created a system which creates, this type of hopefully trading feel, and whether it's AI driven or just systems driven. And the idea is that we don't care at all about indicators, whether it's RSI, MACD, Bollinger Bands. We look at all of it and we just look at, does it have any weight right now in terms of statistics for something? Like, is it, we don't care about is correlation or causation. We're just like, what is the correlation right now? We don't need to worry about the causation. What's the underlying drive in the psychology of AMC and GME? Don't worry about that. We're looking at the data and the data says what it's saying, which is some amazing things are happening. And this is what we are about. Again, it's about being able to look at a stock, very quickly give yourself a feel for what would happen if you were investing your comfort level. And again, remember, you can change this. So I can go from 7,700 to 300 shares, which obviously is a lot more money for a Netflix or an Amazon. But look how quickly you now understand what trading 300 for Amazon is like, or Tesla. Do you see how critical this information is? You never knew this because you can't do that math and you can't do it for every single stock. Now you've got this feedback loop that's doing something no other technology in the stock market does, teaching you how to assess, evaluate risk, and understand what kind of a game plan you're dealing with and expectations. This is what separates us from all the other vendors, okay? So what I want to do now is Brad, why don't you hop on your computer and let's go through some of the more doc. We're going to do another demo of the doc because Brad has a slightly better version of it than I do. And he's better at the docking.
All right, so can you see my desktop? I've switched presenters. I should have nothing on here but a toolbar.
Yep.
Excellent. All right, so let me just start off here and let me open up a new docking window and show you some of the things that we can do with it. Now, I could just start off by opening a new doc window that's going to be blank, and I could start feeding things into it. But I'm going to show you another way you can do it. You can just come right up here, and we're going to go New Chart. So I'm just going to open up a new chart, and it's going to open up automatically into a docking window. But I'm going to do this a couple of times here. Let's open another one. Let's open another one. And then let's open one more. So this way I'm going to have four charts in here, and they're all done here through the tab. They're all the same right now, looking at the daily time frame of the Qs. But here's where I can do a couple of things differently. I can take this and I can move it so I have a side-by-side type of chart pattern. Maybe I'm looking at a daily, maybe I'm looking at a 5-minute over here. So now I've got these two different time frames. Let's take this guy here and move him right to the bottom. So there's a little bit of a docking lesson so you can see how to manipulate these windows here. Let's take this other tab, actually popped it out. Let me bring it over here and take it to the bottom. So now I've created my grid here. I can size it accordingly if I want to take it and make this thing smaller. Everything will size accordingly. Maybe here I want to look at something different. Maybe I want to go ahead and take my symbol linking off. Turn this into, say, the spiders. Let's take my symbol linking off here as well. Change my time frame. Literally, you kind of move around the software a little bit. Once you've done it a few times, it's really like the back of your hand. And turn this one right here into the spiders. I think that's where a little bug is showing up. Not able to type it right now. So this is one of the reasons why I'm not releasing it to you guys yet, but we're getting really super close. So that's how you can manipulate the windows inside of the dock. But let me show you something else. Let's open up a new dock channel bar. Now I can go to one of my channels here that's all set up from a docking perspective. And I can just cycle through the different channels. They're all going to stay within this dock environment here. And then I can take that group of windows and I could drag it over to my other monitor. Now, right now I'm using 2 docked windows. So I've got a bunch of different windows inside of each dock, and then I have my Brokerage Plus dock, which has a variety of different Brokerage Plus specific windows. So here I could go ahead and if I wanted to duplicate this particular dock, I could do that. If I wanted to open up a new dock channel bar and set that to something different, maybe I want to look at like the pre-market and look at the stocks that have gapped up or gapped down in the morning, it's kind of frozen there with their gap levels while I'm looking at some other channel as well. So we're still doing some cleanup here with respect to the columns, but that right there, as soon as we clean up the column aspect of this, we're gonna do a release, and I suspect it'll be at some point next week. That's what we're targeting anyway. Let me show you what we've done here with Brokerage Plus. I know Dan showed you a little bit of it. I like to have mine set up in a little bit of a different way here, where I've got my execution, my orders down at the bottom, probably bring messages down here as well, where I keep multiple accounts up at the top. And so the top is really just for my portfolio view. We also have the calendar feature here, where you can take a snapshot view of your trading activity, the profitability of that. There's only been 2 days this month, but if I hit this little back arrow here, it takes a little bit of time to bring in all the data. I did a ton of trading this last month here, and so it's bringing in all this data, has all of the different trades that took place on each and every day. If you just double click on the particular date up in the upper left hand corner, it'll go ahead and spawn a window with all your trades and order activity for that day. And then as a little bit of time goes on, it's also going to bring in the equity curves here of each day, which will give you a nice snapshot view of the profitability from a graphical equity curve perspective. Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad that you showed this because I forgot it. And I want to show you guys how, even though Brad and I don't necessarily coordinate on what we're going to do during a Q&A, how it actually coalesces, because we were talking about that. Well, how do you gauge your risk? How do you understand if you're doing good or bad? There aren't very many tools like this where you can round the bases, where you, number one, can see, well, okay, I lost money on this day, on the 19th, and on the 12th, et cetera. Sorry, on the 10th, on the 12th, on the 5th. Go into it, dive in, and at the same time, of course, have the views that we showed where you can sort by your best P&L. It's the full. This is your audit trail. So everything you do, we help you maintain that viewpoint of what's going on. And right now, although this is primarily with, not primarily, but it's only with simulated trading, we're going to be bringing this to your brokerages as well.
Yes, I also brought in the performance tab. This is another tab that we're optimizing right now to make it a little bit speedier, but this is going to bring in a tremendous amount of metrics from your trading, how you did today, how you've done over last week, last month, and then your overall since inception of each one of the accounts. We're still adding some filtering to it so you can get specific to the account that you have. Right now, it's consolidating all your simulated trading into one, but it really gives you some nice metrics. And this is another area that we're continuing to enhance. So on my other monitor, I mean, this is kind of how easy it is. Let me take that aside and I'll show you what I look at over on my other monitor. On my other monitor, I have my Brokerage Plus, and then this window right here, which is giving me a real active window of what stocks are breaking out and moving up the most and the fastest. And this right here, Bed Bath & Beyond, had a tremendous day today. I mean, my goodness. Slide that up. Just crazy. Good stuff. I mean, this is why we're here in the market, so we can participate in these types of moves. I mean, sure, making 2, 3, 4, 5%, that's nice, right? It's good, but there's so many other things out there. And like, for instance, if I was to just show you what I was looking at today, some of the positions, that I was looking at, this cost. Let me move it to the side so we can get a little chart coming through here. And you just look at just some of the moves that we're experiencing here. And this stock here, this was at $24, trading $39 today. And, this is coming through. I got this yesterday, or not yesterday, a couple of days ago, and it was all because of the relative volume, a real big metric that we look at that takes a look at the volume of a stock at that current moment in time and compares it to how it normally trades, what normal kind of volume goes through that stock at that time period during the day. And that's a great metric because it really shows you where people are putting their money, where people are focusing their energy and their efforts. And, this isn't a one-off. I mean, I know Dan showed you AMC. I'm really starting to choke right here. I think I have too many windows open. Let me close a few. It's one of the problems with having so many docks, right? You can put so many windows in there, and the problem is you really want to be efficient with it. You don't want to have so many windows that you really can't focus on everything that's happening. If you're not able to look at all your different windows, then you do have too many going. So just my little word of advice right there. Kodak, another strong mover. Gamestop. This is a great little one. VMAR, it's an electric boat manufacturer. And, the electric vehicles, they were all in play today. Ride was one, CCIV was one. So these guys were all lighting up. And, another one that's in sympathy with that would be this boat company. And you can find all of these if you go into our single stock window. Just look for the guy with the S right next to it. Now, something like this, I don't really want to have in a dock, so I'm just going to right click here, and I'm going to go ahead and duplicate into a free floating window. Now I can have this be a little guy. Doesn't need to be so big. And now I can kind of look at it in this regard right here. But if I type in something like VMAR, I can go to the similar tab, and I can look at all the stocks that are similar in nature. And you can do sorting. You can extract this right into a top list if you want. Just pop it out. So then you have a top list right here. There's different ways to manipulate the software.
Brad, this is, again, when I see this, I forget how little, I mean, not how little, but when you don't do this every day, you forget how powerful it is.
Yeah, and the thing is, it can do so much, but you want to focus on what your sweet spot is, what you're good at, and kind of shape the software around that. And we give you all these different channels right here to see how we configured these different windows, how we took an alert window and shaped it into a particular type of event-driven window, or how we took a top list and made it produce certain types of results. So we did all of this through all these different channels. And then once you pull up a channel, you can go into any one of the windows, like this upgappers right here, and go into configure and see, how did we do it? How do you want to make it more specific to your own trading environment? Do you want to put on some price filters or some volume filters, or what is it that you want to do? And you can take what we've done and massage it a little bit, make it more perfect for you, and then save your layout, save it to a custom channel right here. And these custom channels, yep.
Oh, I feel like we have a great opportunity to answer a question that's also kind of cool in terms of what you're demonstrating. And it was Paul Bratzit's question, and I wonder if you can pull up SNDL real quick. He said it would be cool in the single stock window if we were to have an ability to put some notes in. Okay. And I thought to myself, well, let me show you. And boy, does Brad erase some of your mental issues.
Well, so I am in. This is how
So have you guys seen when I said you can go down a rabbit hole of an infinite amount of indicators? So Brad has issues. We talk about them offline all the time. Those issues is Brad likes to put infinite amounts of notes.
Like price alerts. These are notes, right? So
edit that one.
All right, let me do this. Let me go ahead and set a new one, right? So I'll delete that one, and I'll say, all right, I'm going to put a note here in Sundial. I'm going to right click here. I'm going to create a price alert. And here I'm going to say, moving higher, add to position, something like that. And so I'll save it.
Now do me another favor. Now Paul could say to himself, well, but what if I just, I don't know exactly what I want to do. Well, add the heart.
Gotcha. So we have these little annotations on the chart in the upper left-hand corner. Right now there's a heart and it's not filled in, which means it has not been selected. But if I just hover over it and I left click on it, it's going to go ahead and select it. It's going to add it to my liked symbol list. It's a symbol list that we manage through this heart right here. We have created a channel for it. Scroll down. Actually, I haven't put that channel inside of the doc, but if you bring
it's in there.
Yeah, I'll bring the free floating channel in, the free floating channel bar. So we've got this stocks I like channel right here, which gives you a couple different top lists and I think an alert window based upon this particular symbol list. And you can create any window you want and assign it to this symbol list as well. Just go into that channel and see how we did it.
So I guess I'm trying to show, Paul, is that we also thought about the same stuff. We just approach it a little bit differently because it's not just notes, and I mean, why people have them, but we've attached notes to an action, to a function. And of course, you can do what Brad's doing there. You're doing some art. He's so fancy, I have no idea even what he's doing. Yeah, there you go.
So anytime I come back to Sundial, this will be a note on there. That's probably not what you're talking about, but it is
No,
some way.
that's totally fine. What I'm saying is that we have lots of different ways to do that. It's just not only like, hey, I see a stock, let me write a note. The idea of the note is it's attached to something very specific, like a price level that's important to you, which is really how you should do it. So that's the kind of expertise that we bring to the table when we're creating all of this for you guys to do better. All right, Brad, let's switch it back to me so we can finish up.
You got it.
Okay, tell me when you can see my screen.
Yep, you're on.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop back here into the presentation. And as we said, you guys are venture capital. You're the people that make it happen. We're constantly innovating. And right now we have that other product that's not the one that I described before, but it's a sort of like an email newsletter with trade ideas. Check it out at trade-ideas.com/strength, $17 a month. We have lots of ways for you to sort of get to know the different people at Trade Ideas. And one of them, of course, is what you're doing here. You're attending the Q&A. You get a little feel for the CEO, the COO. By the way, Brad and I are just working together. We've been buddies, and I beat him at golf all the time. His ego is really weird.
You're cute.
That's why he keeps putting so many price alerts into his charts. Thinking if I could just put one more price alert, and I'll be able to beat Dan at golf. But another group, by the way, Dave May, phenomenal athlete, runner. Woo, he can run. He's our director of software development, and you can get to know him a little bit better with this ebook, trade-ideas.com/strategy. It's a little bit of how he trades, and he does write our code. So a great way for you to get to know him. Barry, the stalwart, the cornerstone of some of our support, where if you really want to know what's going on, you can just pop into Barry's trading room, which is open all the time during market hours, except for today, where Barry's taking a vacay. But we had it open. Michael Noss was taking care of it. Trade-ideas.com/trading room. Fantastic resource. Lots of great people sharing their concepts, and everyone is always helping one another. Really recommend it very much. What's the most important thing is the continuing education. This is what separates us from all the other vendors that are simply just selling. We have a curriculum and continue to support you because we innovate all the time. You can set up your own training sessions at trade-ideas.com/live and material on all aspects of the technology. My favorite slide with I think it's an improper promo code, but maybe Scott will fix that. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, this is my favorite thing to tell you. For the year, without any discount codes, our software costs around $2,200. I'm not even going to tell you that's the premium super duper costs $2,200 a year. If you need a discount for that, or if you cannot afford it, I'm telling you, you better not get into trading. Honestly, you have to be able to withstand that kind of a hit and know that, again, especially when you're getting something very good for it, if that's a price point that's difficult for you, then the swings you're going to experience in the stock market are going to turn your brain into mush, and you do not want to be here. Okay. Scott, what's the right promo code? Does Mayday still work?
It may work. It should be sunshine. I thought I got all the decks.
Will you change?
If you refresh that page there, you're good.
Whoops. Sunshine. There we go. My bad. I didn't refresh it. Okay. So we have a promo code for you to put in, get 15% off your first month or a year off of Trade Ideas. We're innovating at a breakneck pace right now, so this is an incredible time to get in and amazing stuff that we're showing you. I'm just really incredible progress is happening on the tech side. Okay, we also do podcasts every Friday. It's not with myself. I need to change this title also. It's, I think Sean McLaughlin does it with guests. So please look for Trade Ideas in your favorite app and subscribe to it. And we're very easy to get a hold of. Our social media accounts of the people that have not been banned are at Trade Ideas, at QuantBot, at TI Steve G, and at cgarley1734. Please like us on Facebook, Instagram, and you can always give us a call, or better yet, shoot us an email, and for sure you will get a response. Okay, Scott, I think that is it.
Yeah, I think you hit it all. There'll be a recording available tomorrow, and everyone will get a reminder about how to find it. Thanks, everyone.
All right, awesome.
Have a great day.